Hi all. In this lecture, we will see the second part of list. Mainly, we will see about list comprehension, and also we will see some nested list examples. That's mainly matrix addition, multiplication, and all. So list comprehension. So list comprehension offers a shorter syntax when you want to create a new list based on the values of an existing list. So if you have an existing list and if you want to create a new list from that existing list, list comprehension help is better. So we have already seen how to create a new list from an existing list in the previous lecture. But the problem there is it contains a big for loop and all. So it is very difficult to understand. But if we are using this list comprehension, we can write it in a single line. So I'll show an example. This is an example without list comprehension. So if we want to create a list, we have a names list with the following names, and we want to create a new list. So this is an empty list. I want to create a new list which contains the names which has a letter A. So I want to create a new list from this existing list. I want to create a list which contains the alphabet A in the names. So if I check, this Babida has a small letter A and Chaco has a small letter A. So my new list will contain Babida and Chaco. So I'll run this example. You can see the result is Babida and Chaco. So if I want to create such a list, so what I have to do is I have to take for x in names. I have to iterate this names if a in x. We have already seen this in operator in the previous lecture. If a is there in x, then I will use this append method to append that x value to this new list. So new list is empty. Whenever I get one value, so first one Babida will be appended first. Then after that Chaco will be appended. Then I will be printing that new list. So in this way, so there is no list comprehension. So if we are not using any list comprehension, we have to use this for loop and if and all, if statement. So it's a complex code. So if we use this list comprehension, we can replace the same lines of code with a single statement. So this is the names. And if I want to create a new list, then you can simply write new list equal to list square brackets and x. And you can write the iteration here for x in names. And you can mention the condition also. If a in x, that's all. So that new list will be created and you can print the new list. So the output will be Babida and Chaco. Okay. So this is the case of list comprehension. So if you do this list comprehension, so it will be much more easier. You can write it in a single line instead of that the whole for loop and if statement. So what you have to do is you have to make this new list equal to square brackets x, where x a new list will contain x for x in names. This is a iteration and this is a condition. If a in x, then print new list. Okay. Then this is a syntax for this new creation of using list comprehension. List new list equal to expression. It may not be a variable. In the previous case, we have seen that it is a single variable like x. So it can be any expression. Maybe we can write x into x or x power of 2. Like that we can write expression. Then we have the iteration for item in iterable. Then we have the condition. If condition equal to true. So this is a syntax. This is a syntax for creation new list using list comprehension. So first we have expression for item in iterable if condition equal to true. So that condition, it is a filter that accepts only the items that evaluates it true. So this is a filter. It is a condition is like a filter. It accepts only those items that evaluate with true. So in the previous example we have seen, it accepts only the names with which contain the small letter a. So this is a like a filter from that whole list. Okay. So example, new list X for C X in names if X not equal to Chaco. This means if the name has a Chaco, it will be removed. Other names will be included in the new list. So new list will contain X where I items are for X in names if X not equal to Chaco. So all the names except Chaco will be included in the new list. Okay. So this is another example. So this this condition is an optional thing. Without that condition also we can create the new list. So this is an example. New list equal to X for X in names. This means the whole names will be included in the new list. So this is also list comprehension. This condition is not there. We can write without condition also. So if we write without condition, then the whole list will be included in the new list. Then iterable, it can be any iterable object like a list, tuple and set we will study later. So this can be any list. So this iterable item can be anything, any object which is list. It can be a list, it can be a tuple, or it can be set. Tuple and set we will study later. So this is an example. New list equal to x for x in range of 10. We have already seen how to get a number. So the output will be 0 to 9. So the output will be 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9 will be in the new list. So this is also an example for iterable x for x in range of 10. So there is no condition here. All the elements from 0 to 9 will be printed. So these are some of the examples for list comprehension. So we have a new list, X for ranges. This is the example we have seen. If we print the new list, we can see 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9 will be there. Now, if we are giving a condition to the same thing, X for X in range of 10, if X less than 5, we are giving a condition. So the new list will contain only the elements up to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be there. So we have added a condition to this new list. Then this is another example. We are given some names. Now new list. Now I have already mentioned that X may be this X part may be an expression also. So in all these previous cases, it was simply variable. Now in this case, this is an expression. So what you have to do is x dot upper. Upper method we have already seen. It will be converted to uppercase. So for x in names. So the new list will contain x dot upper means we will take each and every x from this new list and it will be converted to uppercase. So the new list will be Arun caps in caps. All the names will be in capital. So this is another example where we are including an expression and this is the iterable. Then this is another example, new list equal to Aju for X in names. So what we have done is we have replaced, instead of X, we are replacing everything with Aju. So the new list will contain Aju instead of in the names list. So the list will be completely replaced with the Aju itself. So we can replace like this. So this is also an expression. This is a string. So this string will be replaced in the whole list. Okay. And this is another example for list comprehension. We have names and new list X if X not equal to Chaco, else Johnny for X in names. So what happens is if X equal to Chaco, then what it does is it will replace that name with Johnny. So instead of Chaco, it will be replaced with Johnny. Otherwise, all the names will be printed out. So if we see that Chaco is there, so Chaco will be replaced by Johnny, and the rest of the names will be as such. So this is what it does. So if X, this is actually the cursor. Okay, this line is actually the cursor. The cursor was there itself, so don't mistake it. So if X not equal to Chaco, else Johnny for X in names. Then another example. So new list for X in range of 100. What it does is it will check whether F is divisible by 2. And if it is divisible by 2, it will check for the second condition if it is divisible by 7. So the new list will contain numbers which are divisible by 2 and 7, and it is in below 100. So the new list will contain all the elements which are divisible by 2 and 7. Okay. So like this, this is nested if condition, nested if condition. So this if it will check for first condition, and after that it will check for the second condition, and the final list will contain the numbers which satisfies both these conditions. Okay. So these are some examples for list comprehension. Next, we will see some example programs using nested list. Okay. First example is matrix addition. How to add two matrices. So this is a matrix X. So we can write it in single line. It is not necessary that you should write it two separate lines and all. You can write it in single line itself. So you have to remember this is the first row, this is second row, this is third row. So you can write it in single line or in separate lines. Okay. So let it be in separate lines itself to understand it easily. So I have X. So this is X of 0, and this is X of 1, and this is X of 2. Okay. Then I have another matrix Y. Now I have to add X plus Y. So the resultant matrix will also be 3 cross 3. So this is 3 cross 3. So the resultant matrix will also be 3 cross 3. So I have to initialize that resultant matrix similarly with zeros. 3. So this is also 3 cross 3 matrix. Now what I have to do? First I have to iterate through rows for I in range length of X. So length of X will be 3. Length of X will be 3. So there are three lists in this X. Three lists are there in this X. So length of X will be 3. For I in range of 3, so we have to iterate through rows. Then after that, we have to iterate through columns. So for J in range length of X of 0, so we have to take first row's length. First row's length. X of 0 means this row. So we have to find the length of X of 0. So it will also be, so it will iterate for I in range of 3 and here for j in range of 3. Then result is result of I comma j, it is equal to x of ij plus y of ij. Then you have to print this result for r in result, print r. So you'll get in matrix format. Okay. So if you run this program, you will get the result like this. So each time it will be printing in a new line. Each row will be printed in a new line because you have used this for R in result. So for each result, you will be printing R. So each row will be printed in each iteration. Okay. So this way you can add two matrices. Okay. Then matrix addition, the same program using list comprehension. So if you use list comprehension, you can write the same program in a single line. So these are the two matrices. Then after that, result is a new matrix or new list. So a new list is created from these two lists. So what should be the new list? It should be the sum of xij plus y of j. So that is what is, this is the expression. Then the iteration part for j in range of length of x of 0 and for I in range of length of x. Okay. And the result for R in result will be printed. So we have written in a single line, the same program, matrix addition program, it is written in a single line. So if you run this program, you will get the same result here. Okay. So here, this is the expression and this is the iteration part. So we have two for loops which is to be iteration. The same iteration loop. Same iteration as in the previous case. Next, third example is a transpose of a matrix. You know how to transpose. If we have a transpose, we have to change the rows into columns and you have to change the columns to rows. So I have a matrix. It is a 3 cross 2 matrix. So the resultant matrix will be 2 cross 3 matrix. Here it is 3 cross 2 matrix. So it will be resultant will be 2 cross 3 matrix. So I have to initialize 2 cross 3 matrix. Then I have to iterate 2 rows for I in range of length of x. Length of x is 3. Then iterate 2 columns for j in range of length of x of 0. So x of 0, it is length of x of 0 will be 2. Then resultant matrix will be j comma I, and what you have to do, xij will be assigned to result of j comma I. You have to change rows into columns and columns into j. So you can simply write like this statement, and you will get the transpose of that matrix. So if you run this program, you will get the transpose of that matrix. Okay. Then fourth example is matrix multiplication. You have to multiply two matrices. We have two matrices. It's a 3 cross 3 matrix. First one is a 3 cross 3 matrix, and second is a 3 cross 4 matrix. You know that if you want to multiply this 3 and this 3 should be same, then only we can multiply two matrices. So this is 3 cross 3, and this is 3 cross 4. So and the result will be 3 cross 4 will be there. So the resultant matrix will be 3 cross 4. So you have to initialize like that. 3 cross 4 matrix should be initialized. There will be 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay. Then in order to iterate through rows, you have to use this for I in range of length of x, like in the previous case. Then you have to iterate through columns of y. You have to iterate through columns of y. You will be multiplying like this: 12 into 5, then plus 7 into 6, plus 3 into 4. So you have to iterate through the columns of y. So that is why we are using this iteration for j in range length of y of 0. What you have to do then for k in range of length of y. So you have to iterate through rows of y. Then you have to iterate through rows of y. You have to add. So you have to multiply this first row with all the columns. So you have to iterate through columns and through the rows. So that's why you are including k in range of length of y. So you'll be iterating through the rows of y. So first iteration is through rows of x. Then second iteration is columns of y. Then third iteration is rows of y. So since you have to multiply the first row with all the elements, all the columns of first y, you have to add it. Then you have to multiply the first row with all the second column. Like that, you have to repeat this thing. So, and the resultant matrix will be result of I comma j equal to result of ij. So it is initially 0 plus x of ik into yaj. So this will happen. You know matrix multiplication you have studied in the uh, matrix mathematics class and all. So you have to multiply like this: x of ik into yaj should be done. So this is what it is done here. Then you have to print the result. So the resultant matrix will be the multiplication will be like this. Okay. So these are some of the example programs, and I have included the three programs as exercise also. The first program is to add two matrices. You have to use the same program. So instead of giving the matrices as input in the program itself, you try to get the input from the user. From the prompt, you can get the input. Here also write a Python program to find the transpose of a matrix. Here also get the input matrix from the user. And here a third program is write a Python program to multiply two matrices. So here also try to get the matrix from the user. Okay. So these three exercises are there, and these are the references. Thank you.